Good morning. Today we'll continue with estrogen preparations. Just go back to the slides. Yesterday we learned about estrogen, how is it synthesized, regulation, what are the actions of estrogen preparations, especially ethylene, estradiol, what are the uses, where do we use it, and what are the adverse effects. Today we'll learn about the next part of female sex hormones, that is anti-estrogens. So first let's try to learn about these anti-estrogens. So what are these anti-estrogens? Anti-estrogens, actually they are into three groups. Pure estrogen receptor antagonists, and we have selective estrogen receptor modulators, and we have one more group called as aromatase inhibitors. So these are the three groups. So before we understand these, let's try to just go through the receptors on which estrogen acts. We have two kinds of receptors, that is estrogen receptor alpha and estrogen receptor beta. Estrogen receptor alpha is present in the female genital tract, that is uterus, vagina, breast, hypothalamus, bone, endothelial cells, and vascular smooth muscles. Whereas beta is present in the prostate and the ovaries. Let's now look into anti-estrogens. Anti-estrogens are two. These are pure estrogen receptor antagonists. These are two in number. One clomiphene citrate, the other one fluorescent. So we'll just look into these two things first. So clomiphene citrate. Clomiphene citrate binds to both estrogen receptor alpha and estrogen receptor beta. These are pure estrogen antagonist receptor. They bind to the receptor and they block it. So they are antagonists. Once this block happens, this is going to give a feedback inhibition to the pituitary, which is going to release more of FSH and LH. When more of FSH and LH are released, these act on the ovaries, these act even in the testes to produce more ova, or they can also be used to produce more sperms. So hence these drugs, clomiphene citrate, is given in cases of infertility where there is oligospermia in men, or to produce lot of ova at one point of time, like in the process of IVF, in vitro fertilization, where there is requirement of lot of ovaries, lot of oocytes. So the released FSH and LH is going to act on the ovaries, enlarge, and there is going to be ovulation. This will be the action on ovaries. What happens in the periphery, that is in the endometrium and vagina? It is going to cause hot flushes, menopausal-like symptoms. It causes menopausal-like symptoms. So let's look into this. Clomiphene citrate. It's a receptor antagonist. We learned about that. Where do we use it? It's going to block both the receptors, ER alpha and ER beta. Where do you use it? It is used in the treatment of infertility due to an ovulation. How long do we give this drug? Usually you have to give it only for 2 to 3 cycles. Beyond that, it is going to cause menopause. So it's not effective. Menopause-like features, so it's not effective. It's given only for 2 to 3 cycles. Why it causes menopause-like symptoms? Constantly if you keep on giving clomiphene citrate, it's going to produce GnRH. GnRH production is going to be inhibited, which is going to cause menopausal-like symptoms. So what are the adverse effects? It can cause, given on long duration, it can cause polycystic ovary, multiple pregnancies, hot flushing, gastric upset, vertigo, allergic dermatitis, and there can be increased risk of ovarian cancer. Where do we use it? We use it in infertility, even both in males and in females. That is to aid in vitro fertilization, infertility, and in oligospermia. Fluorescent is one more receptor antagonist, which is also called as estrogen receptor down regulator. This is used in treatment of estrogen receptor positive carcinoma of breast in postmenopausal women who are not responding to tamoxifen. We'll learn about what is tamoxifen in a little while. How does this function? It's going to inhibit the estrogen receptor dimerization. In the last class, we learned about once estrogen binds to the receptor, two of them are going to come together, what is called as dimerization, and this is going to go bind to the site in the nucleus, ERE, site in the nucleus. This dimerization of ER receptor, estrogen receptor, is inhibited by fluorescein. Hence, action of estrogen is not there. Action of estrogen is not there. That is why it's called as a down regulator. Whereas clomiphene citrate is a estrogen receptor blocker or antagonist. It blocks the receptor. This is a down regulator. Coming to the next group, we just learned about two drugs, that is clomiphene citrate and fluorescein. Coming to the next drugs, that is tamoxifen, raloxifene, torimifene. We'll just look into these. Tamoxifen citrate is a SERM. What is a SERM? Selective estrogen receptor modulator. What is it? Selective estrogen receptor modulator. How do these function? These have agonistic action on few estrogen receptors at few places, and these have antagonistic effect on few places, or they can have partial agonism at few places. So we'll just look into what is the action of tamoxifen citrate. So it can at the same time exert estrogenic as well as anti-estrogenic action. We know that estrogen has activity on bone. When estrogen acts, bone resorption is going to reduce. Means bone loss is going to reduce. We want this action. We don't want bone loss in a postmenopausal women. So, if we look into this, tamoxifen can cause is a estrogen receptor antagonist in the breast, blood vessels and peripheral tissues. Blood vessels and peripheral tissues. Whereas it is a partial agonist on uterus, bone, liver and pituitary. Means in the uterus it is going to, endometrial proliferation is going to be there. In the bone there is not going to be any bone loss. Whereas in the pituitary also it's not going to cause any changes in the GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone. But it is going to act as an antagonist at breast. So main use of tamoxifen is going to be in treatment of carcinoma breast. So it is anti-estrogenic at breast tissue and weak agonist at uterus. So endometrial proliferation is there, lowering of gonadotropin, prolactin levels in postmenopausal women, and bone density is going to be maintained, decrease in total LDL without change in HDL levels and triglyceride levels. So where do we use tamoxifen citrate? We use it in carcinoma breast in both in pre and postmenopausal women. Do we use it nowadays? No, we have a better drugs. Those are aromatase inhibitors. But these can be used as in early cases as after surgery, post-mastectomy surgery, they can be used. In advanced cases also they can be used for palliative therapy. These are very effective in ER positive breast cancers. ER positive breast cancers. These are also helpful in preventing CA breast on the other side. So it can also be used as prophylaxis. So this is only drug approved primarily as well as for metastatic carcinoma breast in premenopausal women. It can be used as primary prophylaxis to prevention of CA breast in women with high risk. What are the benefits? It is going to maintain bone mass. Lipid profile is not going to alter much. Endometrial thickening will be there. Because of that, they can be prone for carcinoma endometrium. Rarely this can be also used as an alternative for clomiphene citrate in infertility. Tamoxifen citrate, it's orally effective, it's long duration of action. What are the adverse effects? It can cause menopausal-like symptoms, hot flushes, vaginal bleeding, menstrual irregularities, thromboembolic phenomena, dermatitis, anorexia, mild leukopenia. Ocular changes could be there, but they are rare. Tormifen is another weak ER agonist, similar to that of tamoxifen. Coming to raloxifene. What is raloxifene? Again, raloxifene has partial agonistic action on bone, CVS, and in lipid profile, but it blocks both breast and endometrium. So the risk of CA endometrium, which was there with tamoxifen, is not there with raloxifene. So it is anti-estrogenic at breast and endometrium. It has high affinity for both ER alpha and ER beta. So where does it go on target? It targets the raloxifene response element. Raloxifene response element. Where do we use it? It can be used for prevention of bone loss in postmenopausal women. It is one of the line of treatment for osteoporosis in postmenopausal women. Osteoporosis, not only for CA breast or CA endometrium, it can also be used. Actually, raloxifene is one of the line of treatment for postmenopausal women with osteoporosis. So it reduces the ER positive. If the CA breast is ER positive, reduce the risk prophylactically if it is used in 65% of the patients, and there is no endometrial proliferation, so in decreased risk of CA uterus. It can cause hot flushes, leg cramps, occasional vaginal bleeding, threefold increase in DVT, deep vein thrombosis, and it can cause pulmonary embolism. Raloxifene, it is the second line of drug in prevention and treatment of osteoporosis in postmenopausal women, and it is also an option for secondary prevention of vertebral fractures. Postmenopausal women, the most common site of fractures in postmenopausal women is vertebra, spine. So to prevent this, it can be used. So coming back to the next group. So before that, let's just go through the drugs what we learned. We learned about anti-estrogens, that is clomiphene citrate and fluorescent, and we also learned about SERMs, that is selective estrogen receptor modulators, that is tamoxifen and raloxifene. Now let's look into the other group of drugs, that is aromatase inhibitors. What are the drugs? Letrozole, anastrozole, and exemestane. So let's look into these. Before that, let's try to understand what is aromatase. Yesterday we learned testosterone is converted to estradiol, or androstenedione is converted to estradiol with the enzyme aromatase. Aromatase is what converts testosterone or androstenedione into estrogen. So if this enzyme is inhibited, there is no production of estrogen. So that's how aromatase inhibitors are going to act. They are going to inhibit the formation of estrogen. So these are orally active compound, reversibly inhibits aromatization. So it inhibits the production of estrogen. So where it can be used, estrogen dependent carcinoma breast. This is the most common drug which is used. Tamoxifen is the second drug of choice. This drug is not used in premenopausal women, it's used in the postmenopausal women. For premenopausal women, tamoxifen citrate is used. Where do we use it? In early carcinoma breast in postmenopausal women as an adjunct along with the surgery, mastectomy, or advanced carcinoma as a first and second line where tamoxifen has failed. What are the adverse effects? Menopausal like adverse effects like hot flushes, bone loss, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting. There will be no endometrial hyperplasia, no thromboembolic phenomena, and deterioration of lipid profile. Anastrozole is one more compound. This is also a reversible aromatase inhibitors, more potent, once a day dosing, similar to that of letrozole. It is used in carcinoma breast. Exemestane is irreversible. The letrozole and anastrozole are reversible blockers, whereas exemestane is a irreversible blockers. Hence, it is called as suicide substrate for covalently bonding to the enzyme. It suppresses almost 90% of the estrogen production. It is beneficial in early carcinoma breast given orally. So let's just look into tamoxifen and letrozole. What is tamoxifen? It is a SERM, selective estrogen receptor modulator. What is letrozole? Letrozole is an aromatase inhibitor. Both are used in carcinoma breast. So let's look into what are the differences between each of them. So tamoxifen is a estrogen receptor antagonist at breast and blood vessels. This is a antagonist. It's not going to produce estrogen. So no estrogen. Antagonism is going to be there at breast, uterus, bone, liver, pituitary. It is used in tamoxifen is used in premenopausal women, whereas letrozole is used in postmenopausal women. We don't prefer it in premenopausal women. Delay in recurrence, that it is used as prophylaxis. So tamoxifen can be used as prophylaxis but less effective. Letrozole is more effective. Survival advantage is greater with letrozole. If tamoxifen is failed in treatment of carcinoma breast, letrozole can be used. Risk of endometrial carcinoma with tamoxifen is high, and with letrozole it is no or minimal. Bone loss occurs with letrozole. There is no bone loss with tamoxifen. Increased risk of thromboembolism and lipid profile changes are seen with tamoxifen, whereas risk of thromboembolism and effect on lipid profile is less with letrozole. So what did we learn today? We learnt about anti-estrogens, that is clomiphene citrate, tamoxifen, raloxifene, and aromatase inhibitors. Each one of this is a 5-marker. Clomiphene citrate is a 5-marker. Tamoxifen citrate is a 5-marker. Letrozole aromatase inhibitors is a 5-marker. In the next class, we'll be talking about progesterones, synthesis, regulation, what are the drugs we have, what are the actions of these drugs. And we'll also talk about anti-progestins. With this, we conclude today's class. Thank you.